Welcome to the 5th podcast of the Talk Skin Academy with me, Kate. So far, the response to the podcast has been phenomenal, and I can only thank you for taking the time to listen to it. And hopefully it's getting you ideas on how you can build and create a successful skincare and facial business. And if you are a therapist working within spa settings or clinics, how to be able to conduct yourself so that you are the ultimate professional. So let's get started with today's podcast. Be objective, be objective. So I had to actually go and look at this up in the dictionary because I didn't actually know myself. So be objective. What does that mean? It's to pretty much don't be guided by what is going on social media currently. We are currently at the beginning of December of 2023. And already I see so many people talking about build your business for 2024. Be the boss for 2024, get off to a great start in 2024. And that can put so much pressure on you as a business and on you as a person. It can be emotionally triggering because I know that it was starting to happen to me. It's like, oh my God, I got to get ready for 2024. Like my brain was going crazy, but I've got to get, December still, we're still in 2023. And I just wanted to jump on the podcast and first and foremost, just say, be objective with your business. Please just don't get, don't be pressured into, changing your menu, bring on new products, dwelling on everything you did wrong. How about you just dwell on everything you've done right? And the fact that you're still in business. I mean, that's a huge achievement in itself. And I just don't think many people actually just take the time to appreciate what they've been through, what they've gone through, and currently where you guys are at. And we all know that in the industry of facials and in beauty, it's not just a physically demanding job, it's also an emotionally demanding job. You're everyone's best friend, auntie, uncle, like literally you're a psychologist, like you're everything that you never knew that you were going to be. And that takes a toll on you. And the fact that you're still in this industry with, and how crazy it is at the moment, and everybody jumping in, trying to get their 2 pence worth and all that kind of stuff. Like the fact if you're still going, and you're still in business, like that's a huge achievement. So please just take 5 seconds to appreciate that and to say, well done, and have a glass of whatever your fancy is. Mine would be a glass of red or white, or maybe a glass of champagne if I'm feeling frivolous. But yeah, so I just wanted to jump on and say, be objective. 2024, yes, it is coming, but as your business, it's just another day, right? It's just another day. It's just another month. It doesn't matter when you start or when you start to look at changing things within your business that have been objectively thought out. The fact of the matter is that it's just another day. And I just want you to take that away with you from this podcast and take that pressure off you and your team, especially because if you do run a team and you are stressing about 2024, then hey, guess what? It's going to stress your team out. And you might find that that I'm going to leave you letters start to come through. And that's normally when people will start to leave because management, the boss, the owner, starts to get stressed about everything that they didn't do right, or we didn't do right this year, and everything we need to do right and change and all that next year. And even just saying that actually makes me feel anxious. So if you are in that situation, if you do have a team, just actually all you want to do for December is just say thank you and well done. And if you're an entrepreneurial individual currently, just do that to yourself. Say thank you and well done for sticking it out and still going. Because it's really hard being in a business. It really is hard. So moving on. I've said that now, and hopefully that's helped you just calm your nerves down, calm the thought processes that are probably flying through your brain. And if you see someone bang on about 2024 and getting your business ready, just tell them to sod off, because you just don't need that right now. You just need to get through Christmas, and then January comes. It's just another day. It's just another month. And hey, nothing's changed. And then you can start to sit down, get yourself a nice glass of wine, nice cup of tea, nice coffee, go to a coffee shop, whatever it is, and sit down and think about how your business has been. Okay, and that's what we're going to go into next. So as a spa consultant, working with spas and individual therapists that are are entrepreneurial and wanting to set out on their own and create the ultimate, experience for their customers in whatever setting they deem that's going to work for them. When we look at building a business, the first thing that I always say is your menu, right? So when you're thinking about 2024, and if you do want to sit down and start to analyze what's happened in 2023, focusing on the good first, focusing on where maybe those potential gaps could be within the business, you always want to think about the two things that I say to anyone that I work with is, how much do you want to make and how much time do you want to spend in your business, right? Because those two things are detrimental to the outcome of your, to how you like and want to work in your business. The word burnout is heard an awful lot. I was working with a therapist who has done phenomenally well, but she's been only in this industry and only owned her own business for 3 months. And she was already saying the word burnout to me. And I said, that's pretty worrying that after 3 months of being in a business, you're already talking about burnout. And it's because her menu, because she was working hard, she's working 3.5 days a week, and her menu just wasn't fulfilling her needs financially. And so we sat down and had to think about what it is that she wanted to make. And I put together what I create for every person that I work with. And we figured out that to make 80K, all she had to do was increase her prices and make sure that the value that she was increasing it to was going to basically match. Because that's right, perceived value is everything. And so after the call, she then knew what she needed to raise her prices to. We had to think about where she could elevate the experience. The experience inside her treatment room was phenomenal, but there was little things that outside that could have been better. So we worked on those. And by the end of that 1-to-1, she had a clear goal. She's got a clear goal now for 2024. We know that in January, she's going to increase her menu. She's launching her website. And so everything that I just talked about, procrastination, stress, anxiety over 2024 was not a thing for her. But, the key is to figure out what she wanted from her business. And that's always down to time. And it was always down to money, because she was basically, she was the mum. And it was always only ever meant to be like a part-time project that, allowed her to get a little bit of relief from the kids, because she enjoyed doing these treatments. And that was it. But because she did so well so quickly, it turned into something so much more than what she ever expected it to be, which is phenomenal. But the fact of the matter is, because it wasn't meeting her needs in the financial sense, and it was taking actually more time away from her children than she wanted to, she was starting to talk about the burnout scenario. And so this is what I get dealt with an awful lot. My therapists are burnt out. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I don't want to go to work anymore. And the reason why that normally happens is not because of the clients. It's normally because you haven't set your business up for success. You haven't allowed your business to fulfill your needs. Because at the end of the day, yes, you're there to fulfill your customers' needs, but your needs also have to be met. It's an equal relationship. If you're happy, you're going to create a great experience for your customers. And so everyone's happy. If you're not happy and you're feeling burnt out and you're feeling, you just don't want to be in your business anymore, you're feeling, a little bit of resentment towards your customers, then it's normally because you feel like your worth's not being met. And this is a big thing in the industry. Like, you go into the industry when you want to build a business, you create a menu based on what everyone else is charging, not so much what your worth is. And so, a couple of months in, if you are doing really well, you start to resent your customers because you think, well, I should be being paid more than this. And that's not your customer's fault. That's actually your fault. But then you're like, well, how do you deal with that? And this is one thing, if you're feeling resentment, you're feeling tired, feeling burnt out, then these are the issues that you need to address first and figure out what it is in your business that's causing those issues to occur or those emotions to rise. That's what I would say for 2024. Don't even think about your product lines, your any of that kind of stuff right now, new equipment, your complete menu rechange. What you've got to think about is how you're feeling in your business, whether you are an individual or you are a manager or an owner and you have people that work for you. You want to deal with those emotions first, because I always talk about emotional intelligence. And when you run a business, you have to have emotional intelligence, especially when you're dealing with people. And that's your customers, as well as if you have a team, your staff. Because if your emotions are getting the better of you, and I've been there, I've been the best manager and I've also been the worst manager, and it's always based on my emotions. It's never based on factual information. When the factual information is given to me and I take my emotions out of it, I see with a clear head. But unfortunately, I find so many businesses that I deal with, especially from spas to say individuals or salons or miniature spas, this always based on emotions, and that's what causes, like I said, the issues of, staff morale, staff turnover, high client turnover, because how you feel impacts your business. And that's where I always say, start with your business. Don't think about the monetary value, because the monetary value always comes when you are happy in your business. It always takes off when you are passionate, right? When you first start off, you've got all this energy, you've got all of this enthusiasm. You're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to knock it out the park, I'm going to be the best, yippee-yay. And then, a couple of months in, you're doing well, but it's hard, you especially when you're a brand new business, you're everything and anything that your business needs it to be. You're the marketer, you're the financier, you're the worker, you're the cleaner, you're the laundrette, you're everything, right? And it gets to you. And this is where emotional intelligence can either make or break your business. And having someone to be there, maybe to support you, like a mentor, is always maybe a good thing to think about. So that's maybe something that, if you don't have a mentor currently and you do run your own business, then I'd say definitely think about getting yourself a mentor where they can be there as a kind of like a sound wall to allow you to bounce ideas off and go, okay, where's your goals? What would you like to make? Does your menu support that? Does the list on your menu support that? Is it actually attracting the ideal customer to be able to financially afford what you want? So for instance, I don't know, you want to make 100K. It seems an awful lot, but actually when you break it down, based on, a certain amount of hours, it's actually highly achievable. But if you want to make 100K, but you're charging 45 to 50 pounds an hour, it's going to be bloody hard unless you want to work 60 to 70 hours a week, which nobody wants to do that. Like, nobody wants to do that. Work smart, not hard, right? So when I say, don't get stressed and, don't think about 2024, I mean it. Like, enjoy December, enjoy what you've done so far, enjoy the fact that you're still in business. But also then what you want to start to think about is, how can I keep positive? How can I keep mentally not drained? How do I avoid the burnout scenario when it's your own business? Because when you're feeling burnt out, then guess what? Hey, there's nobody here to kind of like look after you. You've got no HR, you've got no, your family don't really ever understand what it is to run a business, and they certainly do not understand what it's like to be a therapist and be everything to everyone and have to listen to everyone's woes and highs and lows, and the grandma, the grandma that talks about their grandchildren, and you've got to sound like you're interested because, you're a nice person and that's what your job's to do, and whilst doing, their facial or whatever. Like, all these things are happening. And then I would also say as well, and I did a reel on this a couple of weeks ago, and it's about hormones. We know as women, especially women, we are governed by our hormones. Now, what I would say, if you're going to think of anything for 2024, if you still have your menstrual cycle and you still have those hormones fluctuating throughout the month, then I would highly recommend, if you are affected by your hormones a certain time of the month, and it happens every single month, then those are the days you take off work. Those are the days you book yourself out and you go and do something that's really like that, gets you inspired or gets you motivated or just allows you to just switch off and relax. Because again, everybody that I meet goes into the beauty business, into the facial business. I'm going to work all the hours God send. I need to build up my business. I need to do X, Y, Z. And like I say, the burnout kicks in. And actually, that's not how you build a successful business. You build it with an honesty to yourself. How much do you want to make? How much time you want to spend? And when are the times of the month that you can't give 100%? Because there's no point in you working in an environment where it's based on how you feel and how you make other people feel when you're feeling like utter shit. So, so think about all of the things that you've gone through. I think times you think, oh fuck, I wish I was off today. Is that a common occurrence throughout the months of 2023? And this is a good place to start. Think about you. Be selfish. Think about who you are, and what you want, and how your business impacts you, and then it impacts in your personal life, and it impacts in your friends and your family. And are you missing out on occasions because you're just completely drained? if you are feeling this way, then guess what? 2024 is going to be another shit show if you don't deal with these emotions now. So I would say, think about those. If you're going to go into 2024, don't think about, all the stuff that these men or people online talk about, get your business ready, do this, do. Like, don't get that stress. Don't let that stress you out, because that's the last thing that you need. You need to sit back, relax, enjoy December, whether it's busy or not, and then going into 2024, just think about yourself, your wellness, your mental health, your ability to be the best and to perform the best for your customers, as well as your team if you have a team, and how you can make everyone enjoy being in your environment. Because guess what? When people enjoy being in your environment, they don't want to leave. And that's when it then goes into the finances. There's a reason why people, when they get off my bed, basically turn around to me and say every single time, get your diary out, I need to book another one, because that was just insane. There's a reason why, because I've put boundaries in how many facials I can do and how much energy I can give to each person. And that's why my prices are high, because then I can afford to not do 4 to 5 facials a day. I can do 1 to 2 and eat that 1 to 2. I know for a fact they're going to guarantee they're going to come back to me time and time again, because it's the best facial they've ever experienced. And the energy that I give to them is 110%. Another thing to think about is how much energy are you able to give to each customer? Is it 100%? Is it 90%? Is it 80%? Have a think about this over December. How much actual energy are you given to each individual client? If you're given 60, 70%, then you need to reduce the amount of people you see, because you want to be able to give your clients between 90 and 100% of your energy. Because guess what? They feed off that energy. If you're full of positivity and they're in a place where they're quite not negative, but they need that lift, then they're going to come back to you, maybe just based on your energy. But if your energy is lacking, then guess what? They're probably not going to come back. So these are all the things that I would be thinking about for your business before you start thinking about the business stuff, like, do I change product brands? Do I look at changing my towels? Do I get a new bed? Like all the big stuff that costs you money, and again, is going to put more pressure on you. You don't want that pressure until you've resolved the pressures and the stresses that you dealt with in 2023. So I'm going to leave it there, because I went through an awful lot of things to think about. But what I really want to say is enjoy December. Congratulate your team if you have one. And just have fun. And when 2024 comes, remember, it's just another day, it's just another month. And as long as you keep going and keep that consistency, then you have got this. And if you haven't, just keep coming back to this podcast and let me be a reminder that you have come so far and that you are doing extremely well. So on that note, guys, happy December, happy first week of December for 2023 for all of those who watch this in the future, and look forward to the next week's one, where we'll be talking all about your customers' experience checkpoints. So see you next week. Bye.